Hello everyone, this is Gautam Mukherjee. This is my third video of Angular 6 learning series. In my first video, I explained how to install Angular in Windows machine, and in my second video, I explained how about the bootstrap process of Angular. So I am again showing you the URL of my previous videos. If you want to watch those videos, you can watch it. So this is the URL of my first video about Angular installation, and this is the URL of my second video in which I explained about the bootstrap process of Angular. So in this video I will explain how to create a component. So the very first question is coming in our mind is, what is component? So if I will go to the official website of component, so it is stating that component controls a patch of screen called a view. Okay. Another website, tutorials point, it is saying component are a logical piece of code for AngularJS application. So a component consists of the following: template, class, and metadata. Okay, very true. See, when we talk about component, so in Angular everything is component. Let's say if we have to create any login screen or a registration page, so we need to create a component, right? So a component consists or contains a template, which is HTML, a TS file, TypeScript file, in which we create, we put metadata, we put a class, in short I can say we put our business logics there, right? So these are the two minimum things which we require for the creation of component. There are few other things are also, like CSS files are there for testing purpose. There are few other files, but at least, means minimum, there should be a TS file and there must be a HTML file. So combination of HTML and TS creates a component. So let me open my VS Code editor. Okay, so here is my command line. So my Angular project is compiled successfully. Let me see in the browser. Okay, so in the browser the default page is displaying. Now here we need to create a component. So for creation of component, let me open CLI from here. So in VS Code there is an option of terminal inside view, so it will also give you a CLI. So in the CLI, if we will write the command ng create component and any component name, let's say product component. So this single command will create our component in very few seconds, in 8 or 10 seconds. But I don't want this. When you will execute this command, in the background a few new files will create, and in some existing files a few lines of code will get insert, right? But everything will happen in background, and we will not understand all secrets of component creation. So what I want is, I want to create the component manually. Our first component which we are going to create that we will create manually. Everything we will do from ourselves, right? So that we will understand each facts and figures, every secret of component, right? Once we will complete the creation of first component, after that for the second component we can use this command, the command which I wrote in the CLI, right? ng create component. So for now let me close this CLI from here. Okay, so there are a few steps which we need to follow. There are actually 6 steps are there to create a component. So I put all the steps in a document so that it will be easy for us. So what is the step number 1? Step number 1 is we have to create a folder. Let's say the name of our folder is products. Inside src and app folder. So here this is the root of my project. Inside src there is app folder. Inside app, here we need to create the folder product. Sorry, it is products. So let me create it. Okay, so step number 2 is create a file products.component.ts. inside src app products folder, means the folder which we created. Inside that we need to create this file. So let me copy the name of this file. So we can create it from here from VS Code as well. Here right click, new file, and put the name product component.ts, right? So we completed our step number 2. Now the step number 3. So step number 3 is saying the code for product.component.ts, means the file, new file which we created. In that file we need to put this code. So what is the meaning of this code, that I will explain, but first let me paste it. Yeah, so okay, so the very first line, this is importing the core library of Angular, right? After that, at the rate component is the metadata. I already explained about the metadata in my previous videos. Inside the metadata we put the selector. The selector is product list. I think I need to do small change here because I am copying it from MS Word, so there may be character issue. Okay, so I was saying about the selector. So here the selector name is product list. So this thing we need to use in our template as tag, right? So in our HTML we will use product list like this. When we will create our template, then we have to do this. Then we will able to see the output of this component, right? So after metadata there is a class with the name product list component, right? And inside the class there is a variable page title, and the value is my first component, right? Okay, now come back to our document. So step 3 is over. Now come to the step 4. Step 4 is saying that in app.module.ts file, it means in our module file, we need to register our created component. So the component which we created in step 2 and step 3, that we need to register in our module file. So for that we need to open our module file. So our module file is here, app.module.ts, and in this declaration here we need to declare our component. So we need to copy the class name, which is product list component, and here we need to put this class name, right? Okay. Here one thing is still missing. This is the, you can say, a property of VS Code editor, the editor which I am using. When there is something missing, a red line underline comes. So you can see inside this product list component, underline, red underline is displaying, and a bulb icon is also displaying here. So as I will click on this icon, it will tell me what is missing. So it is saying import a product list component from module this. So as I will click on this, automatically this line will get inserted. So you can see in the line number 5, this line is get inserted, and this underline, red underline, is disappearing now. It is not means no error. Now there is no error, right? So let me save this and come back to our document, right? So step 4 is over. Now step 5 is to display output. Do small change in app.component.ts. So app.component.ts is our default component. When we install Angular, a component comes to us with the installation of Angular, and that component is app component. So we need to open this component file, app.component.ts. So app.component.ts is already open in my side. It is available in the same folder, right? So I think everything is available in the same folder. Module is also in the same folder, right? Okay, so what the document was saying, that the change is we need to comment template URL and style URL line. So okay, let's do it. So here template URL, let's comment it. Style URL, let's comment it. And in the next line, what we need to do, we need to put this line, template, and inside that product list. So what is the meaning of this? Okay, give me a moment. Sorry, here that tilde mark, tilde sign I need to put. Okay, so what is happening here, that by default this component was executing, right? Means after the, with the bootstrap process of Angular, this component is executing automatically, because in the bootstrap process the name of this component is written, right, in our files. So here what we are doing, to display our component, to display the output of our component, we are commenting the template part of this component, and we are using our component name, which is product list. If you can recall that in our component, in the selector we put this name product list, so we have to use the same name, this product list here, right? And I told you earlier that we have to use it as tag, right? So inside the template we are using inline HTML. If we will use template URL, then we have to put the name of any HTML file. But if we will use the template property, then we can write inline HTML. So here the product list, this is the inline HTML, right? So in this step we commented the default template of this component, app component, and put the selector of our component, our created component, in the template property of metadata. Now come back to the document. Step 6. So this is the last step, and here it is saying that create a file. File name is product.component.html. okay, so here in our folder we will create a new file, product.component.html. okay, so here I will write a simple HTML just to see that our component is working or not. Maybe you people are wondering that what is this thing, this two curly braces open and then close. This is actually one-way binding, or in little standard term we can say it as interpolation. So basically what happens, any variable which we define in the class, in the product component.ts file, here there is a class product list component, and inside this class there is a variable page title. Now this variable contains a value, my first component. Now I want to show this value in our HTML. Then what we have to do, we have to put this variable page title inside this curly braces. So this is the example of one-way binding, right? To transfer data from business logic to presentation logic. So save it. Okay, now what we need to do, we need to check the browser that what is happening. So okay, failed to compile. There is an error, product.component.ts. okay, let me see. Yeah, there is an error because I pasted this content from MS Word, and in MS Word this this character changes actually when you copy something from MS Word to such editors like VS Code. Then this character behaves something different. So let me see. Okay, I think now it is working. My first component, yeah, you can see this is the output. Okay, let me put something here, h1. Okay, so our component is working. So now our component is ready. So what is next? So next thing is we need to enhance our template, that is HTML, so that some better output, I mean some good HTML you can see in the browser. So this enhancement we will do in our next video, right? In this video I will show you one more thing. So this thing is, which I said to you at the beginning, that we already created our component, first component manually, right, by following that 6 steps. But Angular also provides a easy way to create component, and that easy way is a command ng create component and then component name. Let's say I want a component with the name user component. Right? It is saying something wrong. So what's the problem? So it is generate, it should be generate ng generate component user component. Okay, so it is created. So let's see what happened in the background. So if I will go to our app folder, you can see there is a folder with the name user component, right? Inside user component there are few files. So let me change its look, details. So yeah, so there is a HTML file, right? There is another PS file. So these 2 files are important, right? Means this 2 file is required for any component. Another 2 file, which is a CSS file, and another this .spec specification file, these are optional. If you will, means in case of manual, it's up to you. If you want to if you want any CSS, then you can create CSS file. If you want some unit testing, then you can use this spec file. Otherwise you can leave, right? See, in the case of manual we have only 2 files. So yeah, that's it from my side. So if you like this video and want notification of my new videos, then you can subscribe this channel, right? Okay, so this is the name of my channel, it's my cup of tea, and that's it from my side. Thank you very much for watching. Have a nice day.